Hello and welcome to CMR TV. My name is Tamsin DC Weinstein and I'm going to be bringing you the AI wave. This week I'll be telling you about the latest developments in the world of AI. Whether you're using it in the boardroom or just want to learn about how to use AI at home, there's something for everyone. I'll be interviewing global leaders who are using AI to change the world, but also local people who are using it in their daily lives. Let's dive in together and ride the AI wave. Hi and welcome to the AI wave. How are you today?
Hey, Tamsin, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So I am absolutely thrilled with my guest today. She is a personal friend of mine. Her name is Shre Mullick. She is based in the not so sunny London. She is one of my fellow cohort on the University of Oxford Executive Diploma in AI for Business. So I am super duper thrilled to have you here today. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us.
No, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me.
So tell me and our viewers a little bit about you and what your background is.
So I come from a background of art and art galleries and auctions, and I moved into brands and designing in lockdown. So yeah, it's been a journey.
I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that you moved into that arena in the COVID years.
I did actually. I started helping people and organizations make sense of their complex ideas through visuals and creativity. And while I started in the art world, particularly in art galleries and auctions, I moved into branding and strategy. So during lockdown, I built my own studio. And over time now, AI has become another thinking partner in how I work.
That's amazing. And that's a really positive message, actually. And that's one of the things that I want to kind of delve into a bit today, that you see AI as a thinking partner. And obviously we have a lot of people who watch this show who are creatives, designers, and they panic about AI, that it's a threat to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess one of the key things you said is that you see it the other way, in that it's one of your thinking partners.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So you've just sold your business, I believe. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I'm so glad it's finally in the process. You know, it's like you take the time and you build something and you put all of you in it. And then, you know, it's like watching your baby grow up and go to college. It's bittersweet, but you're actually really happy they're out of the house. It's got that bit of that feeling in it. But yes, it is a big step, and I'm very excited to see what comes next.
Amazing. What made you go from art galleries to branding? Was it kind of a sidestep when we had lockdown and you couldn't do what you were kind of normally doing in your day job before?
In all honesty, you know, like in any normal dinner party, people always ask me that, you know, what do you do? And I keep saying that I started as a graphic designer and then moved into branding and brand publishing because I genuinely liked visuals. I like the way people communicate through visuals, and helping businesses figure out who they are through visuals and how they show up became like a passion project. So
Wow.
it just really was a very nice, seamless transition.
I actually love that, because I guess visuals are a way that you can communicate with anybody, regardless of language or education level. It's kind of democratizing because everybody understands visuals. So I actually love that.
Yeah, it's like a universal language. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so let's dive in. I could talk to you for hours, but let's dive in. Okay, so you call yourself a design futurist. And when somebody asks you at a dinner party, what do you say? Where did you come up with the term design futurist?
I think it just came from the nature of questions people started asking me. So when I was just a graphic designer, or rather focusing on brands, people would ask me things like, oh, how can we show up? How can we look good? And then the conversation suddenly changed to, how can we explain things better? Or how can we show up better? Or, you know, how can we sort of like convey our brand better? And then the minute the questions changed, that's when you realized you're no longer what you were, and you need to sort of adapt and grow. And then very seamlessly again, just because we had to start helping people stay relevant in all the tools and all the progress that was happening. That's where AI came in, not as a tool to replace design, but rather something that changes how people were thinking, exploring, and building. So now, as a design futurist, I started telling people that I help teams use design thinking and AI all together to test their ideas and explore multiple directions, etc. That'll help them make better decisions, to be honest.
I love that. So let's start off. Tell me a little bit about how you started incorporating AI.
So we started really small, okay? We started with just automating tasks that were taking up way too much time. Like we'd finished all the design thinking and all the good stuff, and then we'd finish work and we'd be like, oh, we haven't filed or we haven't put in our brand discovery and our documents all in one place. All the notes are either in the pink diary or the blue diary or the green diary.
Yeah.
And XYZ either has it in his first drawer or XYZ has it under his cupboard. So between all of that, we were looking to streamline the workflow. So while we had a process, we were looking at the best way to free up time for the thinking so that our team could actually do the main work. Because the main work is thinking rather than brushing up your notes, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that was the main focus.
Amazing. And what kind of tools did you use? I mean, were you using, just for people watching out there, they may have never used an AI tool at all. Were you just thinking, right, we'll try ChatGPT, we'll see if we can do this? Because it's obviously more agentic to be able to do those kind of things. What kind of tools did you start experimenting with first?
So we started with ChatGPT.
Okay.
But very soon we realized it says a lot of things that don't sound right.
Yes.
So
yeah.
at the early stages, it was like, wow, this is so good.
Yeah.
Chats in, you're like, that doesn't sound right. Or where did you get that from?
Yes. Yeah.
It sounded so good that for the longest time you wouldn't question it. But then, like any other expert or someone who's actually really good with their subject matter, they can immediately spot issues. So we started with ChatGPT. We got a lot of our content, a lot of our workflow, a lot of our just general administrative stuff cleaned up with it. And then we moved into other things, like we started using N8N, we started incorporating agents who would handle the discovery phase, feed the top of the funnel so we could kind of move prospects down the project funnel a little faster, a little better, just improve responsive times, etc.
Amazing. So for people out there listening, N8N is a agentic tool. It's a kind of not drag and drop because it's way more complex than that, but it's one of the more technical agentic tools on the market where you do have to have some kind of understanding how to use it. It's not for beginners. For people who don't have the time to put into using something like N8, have you tried any other tools that will automate workflows for you that you would say more beginners could use?
I would say, and the best way to do it would be to get onto ChatGPT, Claude, and maybe one other AI and discuss the problem that you're trying to solve. And then let them give you suggestions as to what would be easier. And the reason I say use ChatGPT, Claude, and maybe another is so that that same prompt can give you potentially varied answers. So you don't go with that one thing. And across the three of those, you can see what options are available to you. But the most important thing I would say is make the time. It is extremely difficult to get it in one shot. And if you're getting it in one shot, there's a good chance you're missing stuff out.
That's a really good piece of advice. That's a really good piece of advice. Put the time in. And I think that's a real issue at the moment with everybody using AI. We hear that it's going to make everything easy for us, but we don't realize there's a learning curve and an organizational bit at the beginning. So, it's actually changed the workflow. And this is something we talked about at Oxford last week. Historically, a lot of the groundwork was, not that lengthy. Whereas now with AI tools, you have to put in a lot more groundwork, but it pays off tenfold, to terms.
100%.
Interesting. Very interesting. So when did you start moving AI into the creative process and not just kind of the back end processes? Because that's something that lots of people, I guess, are scared of, saying that it's actually, we're okay now with understanding that it can automate a monotonous task. But as soon as it starts to become creative, everybody panics.
Correct. I think, so there are two parts to this. So when we started working with AI in the creative process, we were looking at, let's say, a concept, and we would ask AI to show us different angles, not use them directly, but, kind of stretch the thinking. So normally it would take weeks because we would give the brief, it would come back from the design team. It would take a really long time to see versions or options. But now that problem's not there anymore. And sometimes it's easier to see a variety of things in front of you and kind of stretch that creative thinking, look at options and come up with potentially the best options for your client.
Yeah.
So within the creative framework, it's just the problem of plenty is solved. You now or rather the problem of production has been solved. You have it all there. But I think what's important to remember is that creative bit. It is you who has to come up with that original idea.
Yes.
Because AI can only give you versions and learn from you. But the original idea has to come from you, which again comes back to that whole point of thinking. If you're not going to think about it, or you're not going to put in the time to think about it, it's not going to work, because all AI can do for you is do repetitive stuff. And you'll see it as you produce more stuff. You'll compare it to other things and you'll see a lot of repetitive patterns.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the issues, isn't it? That you know, some brands are going all in on using AI in the creative design fields, and others are kind of being very risk averse and staying very hands off. And one of the arguments for not using it is that it makes every brand look the same. It's churning out, you know, kind of like the Canva effect when Canva first launched and it had a limited number of templates. What's your take on that?
I think your work with AI is as good as what you put in, because the only thing that AI can do for you is that it can be a good tool.
Yes.
If you are just using it to get it out there without really thinking about what you're putting out there, it will all look the same.
Yes.
That's the problem. Yeah. But if you've kind of taken the time to look at what's available and used it to expand on your offering or your thinking, that's where you stand out. Again, the problem of production's gone away. Everyone is now able to produce. It all comes down to how good you get with your craft.
That is very
true. All of that is the core. I think that is the core of standing out now.
Which tools are you using at the moment, if you don't mind me asking, within the whole creative process?
So we do a lot of work with Midjourney, just developing amazing prompts. Just, I would say, like pages and pages of good prompts.
Wow.
There is a myth that a prompt could be just one line.
Yes.
Yeah. It can go as large as like a page.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And that's where you sort of come into something called nuance, I would say. You know, the French call it a je ne sais quoi. And that is that you sort of build. And you can really go crazy with Midjourney. It is such a powerful tool.
That's true. I remember using Midjourney a couple of years ago, actually, when it first came out, and it was just amazing, wasn't it? Like it was amazing. Do you use Nano Banana, or what's your take on all that, like the Google suite of creative tools?
So what we do is when we produce a certain prompt or when we're testing a prompt, we run it across a few places. So Midjourney, Nano Banana, maybe a few others. There are a few new ones that have come out as well. So depending on what the subscription rates are, because some of them are really expensive. And also there are rules around it, right? There's different rules for enterprise models, different use for single-use models, etc. So keeping all of that in mind and the amount of sensitive data we're using, or if you're using sketches by, let's say, someone who does not want their sketches to be shared on a public domain, etc. So keeping all that in mind, we usually push it across 3 or 4 different platforms and then work through what the outcome is, only to see if the lines that we're thinking along can either be developed, taken further, or we're looking at complete garbage. So what not to do.
Yes, yeah. And what's the percentage that you get brilliant outputs, and what's the percentage that you get terrible outputs and go, let's just do it manually? Does that still happen sometimes?
I think because it's advanced so much, I would say the percentage of garbage has really gone down.
Yes.
So let's say we get like a 60-40, and sometimes can be a 70-30 with like good stuff coming out. But again, we end up fixing a toe or a finger eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, I mean, it's learning. It's constantly learning. And, you know, the better you train it, the better it becomes.
Yes.
So it all comes down to how well you're training it and what you're saying to it. I mean, I have a little phrase. It's called GIGO. It's called garbage in, garbage out. It all really comes down to what you're feeding it.
It was interesting you say about the fingers and the toes, because like 12 months ago, that was the big issue, wasn't it? It couldn't pick up fingers and toes. It would give you like 10 fingers on one hand. And But now, if you look at even how far it's come since, I don't know, the last ChatGPT image generator model launched in December, like that's insanely good. It's probably better than Nano Banana. Like the way that these new models are improving all the time.
And it all has to do with people just feeding in, feeding their creativity in it. It's constantly learning.
Yeah. What's your take on the copyright issue? Because that's obviously a huge issue in the creative industries at the moment. Where do you stand on it? What do you feel about it?
There's so much of debate going on around it, to be honest. But as a creative myself, I think it's important to protect other creatives because creatives, in my opinion, build culture. So I think it's really, really important to protect them. I think we need to sort of, and this conversation probably happened in the World Economic Forum in Davos as well, where people talked about potentially creating a cultural index and turning it into an asset class and protecting it. Now, I mean, sure, it can't be the same as maybe other asset classes for obvious reasons, but that would be potential one way of looking at it because you have to protect it. There is creativity. I mean, Harry Potter wasn't written by AI, it was written by a human being.
Or so we think.
Or some would think, oh my God. But no, and I mean, that kind of other potential, like good literature, good art, great design, all of these creative things, they're still there out there in the universe, and you have to protect that. And so I think it's really, really important to think of creative ways to protect these things because they're what takes you forward. Sure, there's productivity and there's automation and there's improvement, but there's also things that make you human. And higher creativity makes you human. So you have to protect that.
That's very true. I guess the problem is in today's day and age, how do we even know what is human? Like I could generate something now and pass it off as my own, and who would know? And that's one of the legal arguments that people are wrangling with at the moment. There's no way of knowing. And I completely agree with you. My lifelong dream was to be an artist. I just wasn't good enough. But one day in another life. So it's hard. It's hard, isn't it?
It's very hard. But then that is the challenge, isn't it? That is where you rise to the occasion because AI can't help you with that.
Yeah, yet.
I say that. Yes, you're right. Yet. It's something to protect for sure. And it's something to definitely think about.
Yeah. So what are the, let me put you on the spot now. What are the best, can you think of any really, really good and really bad examples of kind of AI generated creative that you've seen that you thought were great? Maybe an advert or a campaign. Is there anything that you've seen that you've loved or really hated?
I've loved some of the stuff that brands are coming up with. I know there are like special characters they have like Instagram and social media profiles, but they're not real. They're actually like AI avatars and they have like an entire persona and the content is outstanding content. So on that front, I think the creators have really done well. They've done really well because they've clearly thought about it and they've used that power. They've really harnessed the power of AI to really put good work forward. And on the other hand, I've seen some really, really bad, very ChatGPT speaking ads, which sound like, you just put in a prompt and you've taken the first thing. And, you hope and pray that, people see the advert and buy it.
Yeah.
But in business, I suppose hope is not a strategy. So it really comes down to your A/B testing. Like what are you seeing? What are you putting out? What's your audience relating? Because people aren't stupid. They can tell. They can tell when that ad or that brand doesn't have a soul. And they will immediately switch off.
Yeah.
So you run the risk of pushing something out really quickly, really easy, really cheap, but you really, really risk your audience switching off.
Yeah.
And is that what you truly want to do to your brand just because you want to get something out?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some examples when a brand has had really bad press about an AI generated advert, and I can't think of any. But I'm guessing it's probably not widespread enough yet. And then the big brands have got so much money that they're still chucking a load of money at it. It's the small brands that are going to suffer the most, isn't it? That are just, throwing it out there and hoping for the best.
I think my advice for smaller brands would be take the time. I would say focus on one good advert. One really good advert that speaks to your audience, understand what your audience wants, what they're looking for, and really use AI to translate that message. Don't follow trends. Don't follow like hyped trends just because people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Really think about who your user base is, who's your ideal customer. Like really think about your customer profile and the kind of customer journey you're putting them on. And then think about how you can use AI to build something that will attract that particular customer and help them move down the funnel.
That's a really good piece of advice, actually, Shre. And I think that's something that people don't think about when they think about AI in the creative industries. And this is something I use it for a lot when I'm doing marketing or AI for more creative aspects. AI isn't just for the end product, is it? AI is to find out who your user base is, use it to do market research, find out who your customer is, who's buying your products, who's buying your service, what you should be targeting them with. Don't just use it to create the pretty pictures at the end and the designs. Use it to actually understand.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Is
most
that
people
something
forget.
that you use it for?
Yeah, so I think in design, we've over the last couple of years, we've sort of really defined what we use it for. So we've got one place where it assists in the back end, where it's an assistant, very clearly, nothing more. And in the front end, where we're helping it with, when we're using it to help us design or think about ideas, it's our co-pilot. It's working with us. It's almost as if it's a really smart junior designer, like
Yeah.
a really fast one, but that's all they are, like a really fast pair of hands. And they're
Yeah.
working with us to sort of work through our designs. But we're very clear. AI is an assistant. It's our thinking that really matters. AI can support the work, but it shouldn't lead it. So we're very clear with those distinctions.
Do you think it will ever get to a point where that is not the case, or this AI is going to take my job? What's your view on that?
I think the minute you become lazy and you let AI lead you rather than you lead it, you will lose your job.
Wow.
Because AI is faster than you. AI is not creative like you. It's not unique. It doesn't have a personality. Well, some would say no. You can give it a personality, but it doesn't have your personality first.
Some people are marrying their AI, so there must be something good about it.
Something we're doing wrong. There's something wrong as the human race. If you're marrying AI, there's something really wrong with us.
That's true. That is very well.
Fundamentally, there's something
Don't
really wrong.
answer back. They're a cheap date.
Yeah. But I think the quality of outcome, it is the quality of outcome that really depends on what will work and what won't. Because AI will only give you potential.
Yeah.
Or at least for now. We see so many different tools. We see so many upgrades. We see such a variety of options available to us.
Yeah.
But to be able to take it, learn it, and run with it is a whole other ballgame.
How do you, talking about all the different tools available, how do you keep up with all the new ones? So there's thousands of AI tools now, and like I get a newsletter every day that gives me a highlight of the top new tools that have come out. And it's just mind blowing. People are spinning them up every day, vibe coding them. And now that people can do them in the back room and launch them within 20 minutes, how do you keep up to date, especially in the creative industries and design? How do you how do you keep from jumping from one to the other? Like, how do you do that? Because it's overwhelming.
It's a lot like having I would say it's a lot like hiring designers. You don't hire and fire. Some people do
Yes.
again. It's a lot like hiring and firing. You kind of take the time to decide on your mains. So they're your A team. So your A team, then there's your B team.
Yes.
So you decide on your A teams and those are your non-negotiables, right? Until someone really brilliant comes and kicks them out.
Yes.
To decide that, you'd go through like several rounds of interviews and understandings and test them, correct?
Yes.
So I would say decide your A team and leave your A team alone.
Yeah.
It's your B team. So your B team is your playing arena. So they can sometimes do the job, sometimes not do the job. You know, they're indispensable. They're dispensable, sorry.
Yeah.
So there you can kind of play. So you'd want to think, okay, let's give this a shot, but we've got these things in the pipeline just because they're new and shiny. So we categorize them. We see, okay, this is for motion, this is for still images, this is for la-di-da. We bucket them and we do a little priority list. So that's like your refrigerator. You can take an idea out, microwave it, use a little bit, and then see, nah, throw it out. So you've got your A team who's still doing the work. You've got your B team where you take occasionally something and take it for a spin.
I like that.
So yeah, you kind of have to start thinking of them as your team.
Yes.
Keep the ones important and then just keep trying a few here and there.
Keep rotating the others.
Yeah.
Do you still use Canva? Which I know is I don't know any. I remember when Canva first came out, 5 years ago, and I remember using a designer who used it, and somebody said, "Oh, Canva will never take on because it's too identical and it will never take on." And then within a year, every single designer in the world was using Canva. And now, it kind of overtook Photoshop and Adobe and all the other suites that people were using because it's just so quick and easy and efficient. What about you? Do you still use it, or is that old hat now?
I'll be very honest, I never used Canva.
That's amazing. I love that.
I was such an Adobe snob that
Yeah.
I didn't use Canva. But Canva did something. It made design accessible to non-designers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was revolutionary because people thought that, oh, we can do this as well. This is not
Yeah.
hard. You don't need a Photoshop, or you
Yeah.
don't need the complication of an Illustrator. I can just quickly send up my social media posts. I
Yeah.
don't need to worry about, oh my God, who's going to handle the Adobe workload. But that was genius. And in many ways, like, people who actually went into the depth of it created some brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
They actually end up creating some really, really good stuff.
That's
Sure, I
right.
mean, it was there were templates, things were looking the same, you could tell. But it's a lot like AI. You can tell when something's written by AI
Yeah.
if you've not really gone in and worked on it.
Yeah.
So it's the same principle, to be honest. And from a design perspective, I think Canva's still relevant if you know what you're doing, because Canva's updated its stuff as well. It's got some pretty neat features now.
Yeah.
But again, it all comes down to human intent.
That's
How much
true.
what are you trying to do? What are you really trying to do? And how far are you willing to go with it?
How long do you think it'll be before design agencies can do whole lengthy campaigns using just Gen AI tools? So obviously, like, I play with Nano Banana and lots of different image generators a lot. And whilst they are absolutely immensely amazing, when you're on like your third or fourth iteration of the same picture, so for people who don't understand what I mean, you create an image and then you say tweak it slightly and create me another one, and then you might say that again. By the third iteration, it started to adapt all of your features, and like, it can't consistently, especially if it's a human. By iteration 10, I won't look like me anymore. So for advertising agencies and companies using it for advertising, it's not consistent enough yet. How do you get around that? And do you think we'll ever get to the point where it is consistent enough?
Yeah, I think the way it's learning and the way it's picking up and the kind of training data that will be available to it, because it's not just text, it's learning from images, it's learning from videos. We learned this in class the other day where one of our professors talked about the importance of multi modes. It's not just text learning from. And the more it learns from visuals and the more people feed stuff into it, it will only get better.
Yes.
So I do see a future, not too near, but not too far either, where, full-fledged campaigns are going to come out.
Wow.
Just through AI.
What do you think that will do to the advertising industry?
Disrupt it, because, that's a word we have to throw out. I think Dip AI Stream 1 will be very proud. No, I think it will really challenge advertising as an entire sector to really develop a niche and really define what they're good at. And, it will challenge. I think it will challenge them because everybody can't do everything now.
Yeah.
It will challenge them to be exceptionally good, and not just once, but every time. Be exceptional every time.
I love that.
It's not just, yeah.
I love that because, a lot of people go, we're just going to end up with a world of AI slop that's been churned out. And you're seeing it the other way, that actually it's going to make the world better because we all have to try harder. So I actually love that positive spin on it.
I mean, in all honesty, I think the best of work comes out when you're, in my opinion at least, the best work comes when you're pushed to an edge.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
It's your sportsmanship, whether it's, creativity. You will push yourself to the edge, and that's where that magic just clicks.
I would agree. I would wholeheartedly agree with that. Okay, so you mentioned Oxford.
Yay!
How are you finding it?
I mean, firstly, it is a dream come true. I will be very honest. I'm going to fangirl for a bit. It is a dream come true. But I think the most important thing is it's amazing to see how the professors are all rooted in the real world. Like, they're teaching us, yes, but they're actively consulting for industries, companies. So their conversations with us are not theoretical or just siloed. We're constantly looking at real cases. We're looking at real trade-offs. We're looking at real consequences, not just tools and models, but how really decisions are actually playing out in the real world.
Yeah.
And that I think is really, really important.
Yeah.
And the second thing is the class. Between you and I think we can say the 66. Oh my God. I mean, how amazing are the 66 people in the...
We are so lucky, aren't we? And to have such varied people from all over the world and all different sectors and all different walks of life. Like, we are so
100%.
lucky. We are so lucky.
100%. It has been, I mean, the professors and the batch have been so, so amazing.
I'm so pleased. And we got to meet each other as well, which is even better.
It was brilliant. It was so good to see you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back in module 2. Better weather. Better weather.
I hope so, because otherwise I need to go and buy an umbrella.
That umbrella ain't going to last a day, as we saw. What
excites you the most about the future of AI?
I would say it is the sheer range of possibilities. I mean, I'm a designer, I'm a creative, I'm a visual thinker. I would say it is the sheer range of possibilities. You can explore more ideas, test more directions, and learn faster than before. I mean, the freedom opens up creativity in a way we haven't seen before. So it is the sheer range of possibilities.
I love that. I love that. Endless opportunities. Okay, I know time's running out, so I'm going to finish with a quick fire round. This is the fun bit. So I'm going to give you 2 options, and you've just got to hit me with your final answer. Okay.
Go for it.
Pen and paper or screen?
Pen and paper.
I love it. Do you know, I knew you were going to say that because you were sharing beautiful stationery.
Thank you. I did a doodle this morning. I love keeping a post-it.
I love that. You'll have to send me some. You'll have to send me some and I'll post them.
Done.
Do you ever doodle and then animate it using AI? That would be really cool.
So I am exploring that option at the moment. So we're trying a few things. I will share something by the end of the month. Yeah, we're trying a few things.
I love that. Messy ideas or neat plan?
Messy ideas that turn into neat plans and then go all messy and wonky again.
Coffee or tea?
The entire Dip AI Stream 1 will tell you I am a masala chai girl.
I'm going to have to try it next time. I've never tried it.
It is on like my treat. You have to come first thing.
Okay, and the last question, one thing that AI will never replace.
I think the one thing, so many to choose from, dear God. But I think the one thing AI will never, ever replace is you, the original you.
That's true.
It will never, never, ever be able to replace you. It will never be able to replace the way you look at things, the way you see things, the way you feel things, and the way you respond to all of those feelings. It will never be able to do that.
What a wonderful answer. I absolutely love that. And that's such a good message for everybody who, 90% of people genuinely are still petrified that AI is going to replace them. And I think that's a great message to end with, that actually it is never, ever, ever going to do that. No matter how hard it tries, it's never going to do that.
Never do that. Everyone is unique, and that uniqueness is something that will never go as long as you remember to tap into that uniqueness.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. I have had the absolute best time today. I really, really, really appreciate it. So, any final messages that you want to give the audience?
I would say do not be afraid. It is a tool. It is just a tool. And the more you remember that it is a tool, you will remember how good you are at what you do. And you will do really, really well as long as you always treat it as a tool and nothing more.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Have a absolutely wonderful rest of the day. And we would love to catch you again in a few months and see how you're doing.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me, Tamsin. And have a great day. And I look forward to seeing you back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Much. See you later.